It's Mardi Gras season here, and we're in Baton Rouge tonight at the PMAC, the Pete Maravich Center, as number 2 Florida visits number 8 LSU. Expecting a huge, enthusiastic crowd on hand tonight. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark, and it's always fun to be here. They have set records in terms of number of the crowds. Of 36,000 people have been here in the last 3 home meets total. It's really something what they've done here. And this meet has a lot of consequences because these 2 teams, by the way, have really dominated the conference for the last several years.
This is a meet that both these teams have circled on their calendar. They love to go head-to-head, whether it's in the O-Dome in Gainesville or right here in the PMAC. And both teams are led by outstanding all-arounders. Trinity Thomas, of course, she's ranked number 1, tied with Suni Lee, but also chasing that 10 record, most career 10s in a career. She's capable of a 10 on every event, and the one that's eluded her is on the uneven bars. And Aaliyah Finnegan of LSU, wow, she has cranked up the heat and scored 2 10s in back-to-back meets. First on the floor exercise, where she can put on a show. And then last week against Auburn on the road, nailed a perfect landing on that ball for a 10.
So there's a lot to cover in tonight's show. Here will be on ESPN2 at 9 p.m. Eastern. KJ Johnson, we'll talk to her. She's a fascinating young lady. We'll talk to her. We'll talk about Fisk's first HBCU program, and they will explain the new ranking systems, which begins soon. Let's go down to the PA announcer for introductions and the national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Louisiana State University and the LSU Athletic Department, this is Mike Smith wishing you happy Mardi Gras and welcome you inside the Pete Maravich Assembly Center for tonight's NCAA and Southeastern Conference Gymnastics meet featuring the 2nd-ranked Gators of the University of Florida and your 8th-ranked Fighting Tigers of LSU. Tonight's meet is sponsored by Community Coffee. Community Coffee is proud to be the official coffee of LSU Athletics. Fuel up for game day with their boldest coffee yet, new dark and bold, available at a store near you and at communitycoffee.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask that you rise if you're able, remove your caps as we honor America, and remember those in our service with the singing of our national anthem performed this evening by the Johnson Sisters.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to the Johnson Sisters with our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the Maravich Assembly Center our visitors from Gainesville, the University of Florida Gators. Let's meet the Gators. Morgan Hurd, Leah Clapper, Bree Edwards, Ellie Lazari, Peyton Richards, Leanne Wong, Hallie Taylor, Victoria Wynn, Sloan Blankley, Chloe Clark, Rachel Ballman, Lori Brubach, Riley McCusker, Kayla DiCello, Trinity Thomas, Savannah Shanehair, and Alex McGee. The assistant coaches for Florida, Owen Field. The associate head coach is Adrian Burdett, and the head coach of the Florida Gators is Jenny Rowland. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Florida Gators. There's something in the air tonight. It's Mardi Gras, and the party starts here. Here come your Fighting Tigers of LSU. And let's greet the Tigers. A former international elite gymnast at the junior level who trained at Texas Streams. A freshman from Alexandria, Louisiana, Annie Beard. A level 10 gymnast out of Bull City Gymnastics and a JO National qualifier. A freshman from Hillsborough, North Carolina, Ashley Cowan. A level 10 gymnast out of Pearland Elite Training Center. She's a JO National qualifier and vault champion. A Nastia Lucan Cup qualifier and a freshman from Lake Charles, Bryce Wilson. A U.S. Elite National Team member and a JO National champion in her second season with the Tigers from Lee Summit, Missouri, Aaliyah Finnegan. This Tiger is a JO National champion on bars and the all-around. A sophomore from Warrensburg, Missouri, Alexis Jeffrey. A former elite competitor with Texas Dreams and a member of the SEC All-Freshman team a season ago. Now a sophomore from the Big D, KJ Johnson. This Tiger is a former U.S. Elite National Team member, a JO National champion, a level 10 gymnast from Twin Cities, Whisters, a sophomore from Chanhassen, Minnesota, Tori Tatum. An SEC Vault champion, an All-SEC and SEC freshman team member, a former U.S. Elite National Team member, a junior from Athens, Georgia, Elena Arenas. This Tiger is a former JO National qualifier and a junior from Mandeville. Say hey, Sierra Ballard. This Tiger is also a former JO National qualifier and a junior from Atlanta, Georgia, Chase Brock. Tiger fans, she is one of the top all-around gymnasts in the nation, an All-American on vault, floor, and the all-around, the 2021 National Vault Champion and SEC Champion, a junior from Cornelius, North Carolina, Haley Bryant. An All-American on the uneven bars and a former U.S. national team member, a junior from Hillsdale, New Jersey, Olivia Dunn. An All-American on vault, uneven bars, and the all-around, an SEC floor champion, and the 2021 SEC Specialist of the Year, a senior from the Big D, Kaya Johnson. A senior from Houston, Texas, please welcome Lexi Nibbs. Also a senior from H-Town, please welcome Maddie Rao. A former JO national champion and a senior from Detroit, Michigan, Kai Rivers. This Tiger is a senior from Luling, Louisiana, Cam Ryan. An All-American on the uneven bars, a former U.S. Elite National Team member and a senior from Evergreen, Colorado, Alona Shinikova. And this Tiger is a former JO national qualifier who trained at Capital Gymnastics Training Center. She owns 2 individual vault titles on vault in her first season with the LSU Tigers. A graduate student from Gainesville, Virginia, Hammy Hall. And now, let's meet the coaching staff. In her second season as an assistant, she is an NCAA champion and a 2004 Olympian, Courtney McCool Griffith. In his second season as an assistant coach, please welcome Garrett Griffith. In her third season as an assistant, she is an NCAA champion and a 17-time All-American as a Tiger, Ashley Bugsnett. And Tiger fans, in his 11th season overall. And third is our head coach. Please welcome Jay Clark. Tiger fans, these are your Fighting Tigers of LSU.
All right, folks, we're glad you're joining us. Flip on over to ESPN2 at 9 Eastern. This is going to be a thriller. You're not going to want to miss it. It's Florida at LSU. Pete Maravich, Assembly Center for this top 10 matchup. Watching the SEC on ESPN. Tonight, the number 2 Florida Gators visit the number 8 LSU Tigers. These are the 2 most dominant teams in recent SEC history. Take a look at some of these accolades. They've combined for 15 SEC championships together. All of the meets have been close. Get this, at the end of that last graphic says 4 of the last 7 meets have been decided by 0.2 of a point or less. So we're in for a thriller again. Hi everybody, Bart Connor along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark. It's always great to be here in the PMAC. There's so much energy. And this rivalry has really turned out to be the most consequential in the SEC lately, hasn't it?
That impressive history of dominance makes it so exciting to have front row seats to watch 2 great teams who love to go head-to-head in a very exciting environment like this. Both teams are led by ironclad all-arounders, including Trinity Thomas for Florida, ranked number 1. She's tied with Suni Lee for that top spot. In fact, as she is chasing the record for most 10 scored in a career. So lots of fans out there on Tennity watch now, especially on bars, the one event that has eluded her this season. And LSU's Haley Bryant, who has consistently performed her uniquely high-flying skills all season, sits at number 8 in the country and is so prepared and primed for something big here at home. I get the feeling they're all going to shoot the moon and hope to come down with a 10.
Oh, a lot of stars in the house, including the 3rd member of our broadcast team, our star, Sam Pesci. Let's go to Sam.
Well, thanks, Bart. Each of these teams has a sophomore standout. LSU's Aaliyah Finnegan is heating up. She scored 10s in 2 consecutive consecutive meets on 2 different events. So she's really proving her consistency and her high scoring potential that this team is looking for. Florida's Leanne Wong is also showcasing her productivity. She's currently ranked first on bars with Suni Lee, and she's already scored 4 perfect 10s this season. So it's safe to say that with these big names, it's bound to be a big competition. Guys, we're all in for a treat.
Oh, they're ready to party here. It's Mardi Gras season. Colin Baton Rouge. Thank you, Garth Brooks. Come on back, folks. Florida and LSU when we come back on ESPN2. Along with Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Peshek. A lot at stake tonight. Let's remind people the NCAA gymnastics dual meet format. 6 gymnasts will compete for each team on each event. Just the best 5 out of those 6 scores count towards the team total. The team with the highest cumulative score wins. The home order is what we call the Olympic order. Vault, bars, beam, and then floor. The away team tonight, that is Florida. They'll start on the bars and they'll finish on the beam in the 4th and final rotation. I mentioned there's a lot at stake. Now, Florida has dominated of recent years in the SEC, and in fact, tonight they have a chance to win their 5th consecutive SEC regular season title if they can pull off a victory here. They've won the last 2 times they visited. Now, we have documented well how LSU has recovered from the loss of Kaya Johnson in the second meet, and they have shown a lot of grit and resilience, and they're still a top 10 team, even though they don't quite have as much depth as Florida does.
No, they don't, but what they don't have in depth, they make up with heart. They have fought so hard to stay in the conversation. And these are 2 great events they get to start on. LSU on vault, they are ranked number 3.
Junior Elena Arenas.
A huge full 995 start value. Look at the height on that vault. That is textbook. Really fantastic technique. Superb block off the table to show off excellent height.
Arenas, the junior from Athens, Georgia. Boy, she does get a pop off that table.
Watch that height, because she is a small gymnast, but huge vault there, 5 feet off the table, and equal in distance, just that hop on the landing. Everything else was superb.
She's been in all 7 meets this season with a season high of 985 over there. All right, leading off for Florida on bars is Sloan Blakely. We thought we might see her in the all-around tonight, but they changed the lineup here at the last minute. Here she leads off bars.
Opens with a perfect cast handstand. Just a little leg separation on that first transition. Now they are glued tightly together. Right on top of the bar on that final cast. Nice blind change. Maybe a little bit past vertical. Watch this double front.
Oh.
Superb amplitude, but unfortunately that big step on the landing will be a sizable deduction.
Florida has had just 6 meets. She has been in all 6 meets on bars with a season high of 9.925. There is Jenny Rowland, the head coach at Florida, in her 8th season. NCAA runner-up last year. They finished .112 behind Oklahoma, and they have a lot of stars on their team hoping to make another shot at that national title. Alona Shenikova, the senior from Colorado, in the all-around tonight after Elena Arenas had a 9.875.
First look at a 10.0 start value vault. Wow. Very, very well done. Slight hop backwards though, so it was a little bit under-rotated, so they'll have to deduct for the under-rotation and the little slide back. But again, really nice technique. Almost held on with the quad strength there, but couldn't quite hold on to it, had to slide back.
She had a superb all-around competition last week at Auburn. Had her season high there, 9.925 on that event. Victoria Wynn coming up now on bars for Florida. Sloan Blakely's leadoff score was a 9.75.
So now for a #1 bar team like Florida, this is a reset for them. They need a big score here, so she needs to hit every handstand. Oh no, and already a miss. She hit her feet on the ground. Big deduction there. So this is going to be the score they will have to drop They will want to drop and hop on the landing. So definitely this is going to be a lower score than their leadoff performer. So they're a little bit behind the 8 ball right now. So right here, she was too far away from that low bar. You really need to land with your shoulders over that bar to be able to block out and get into the glide without hitting the floor.
She's been in all 6 meets up to this point of the season, with a season high last week with 9.925. Talking about great meets last week, Aaliyah Finnegan herself also in the all-around tonight. She's on the vault now for LSU after Shenikova at a 9.825.
Nailed this last week for a 10-0. Let's see what she's got here. Almost held on to it. She tried to stick those toes into the mat, not let him move, but had to quick salute. And there's sister Sarah Finnegan, LSU great, in the stands to watch. So a difficult vault. It's called an Omlien check, a half twist onto the table, front pike. And this one was slightly over-rotated, just a little bit too much juice. So she had to step forward into the salute to the judge.
Important routine here now for Florida, because Victoria Wynn had only a 9.575. And remember, you take 6 athletes, you count the best 5 scores. A lot of pressure now on freshman Kayla DiCello, who has shown and currently the freshman of the week. This is her 4th time in 6 meets. She has gotten off to a terrific start as a youngster.
And she has competed on the world stage. She can handle pressure. Huge amplitude on that same bar release. Nice work on these handstands. Very well done on that pack salto. And went right into another skill, which adds to her bonus. Showing a lot of difficulty in those transitions and connections. Wow, fantastic routine for her. Great landing, and that's exactly what Florida needed. Look at the height above the bar. 2.5 feet up, and notice her legs are straight and toes pointed throughout the entire skill. Really well done. And the dismount, a full twisting double back, holds on to the landing. Superb.
To give you a perspective, her hips are 2.5 feet above the bar, but that means her head's about 10 feet in the air, and she has to nail that landing. Now, back to vault for LSU.
Chase Brock with a 1.5 twist. Big step on that landing. They'll have to take that deduction there.
Yeah, Chase Brock has been doing a phenomenal job on vault this year. It's new for her. I asked her what clicked for her, and she said it was a mental shift. She couldn't figure out how to translate the vaults from practice to the competition before this year, so she changed her approach. She tells herself, "You're amazing, I believe," and she visualizes right before she goes. It's made all the difference for her.
She was coming after Aaliyah Finnegan, had an impressive 9.95. This is Trinity Thomas, who has scored a perfect 10 on every event this season except the bars.
Back-to-back skills here. Maloney up to the high bar, swings right back into the pack salto. Very good leg form, nice technique. And this is a Van Leeuwen right here with a half twist back up to the high bar. Just superb, patient, gorgeous swing. And the double layout, as floaty as it can be. And notice how high her chest is when she lands. Straight up and down and no movement.
No score this year below 9.925 on bars. 3 times she's had 9.975, which means one of the 2 judges gave her a 10.
Back-to-back flight transition skills, and then just punctuates a superb routine with a perfectly stuck double layout.
Owen Fields, who works with the gymnasts at Florida on bars, proud of that effort as well. Remember, Florida behind the gun a little bit. Here is KJ Johnson after Chase Brock scores a 9.825.
And hold on to your Mardi Gras beads. I'm telling you, this is huge. A big, beautiful Yurchenko full. Boy, when she nails that landing, that's going to be a huge score. It's still going to be big here.
She's been in all 7 meets for LSU on the vault. She's extremely explosive. There is Jay Clark, the head coach, in his 11th year here at LSU, his 3rd season as the head coach after taking over from the dean of coaches, Dee Bro, who created this legendary program, stayed 43 years and handed the program over to Jay Clark, who's in charge now. Trinity Thomas her fourth 9.975 of the season on bars. And that brings up Leanne Wong, who has experienced perfection herself here.
Get ready for one of the most elegant bar routines. And it has the difficulty, back-to-back transitions. Her third release skill, then Lewin up to the high bar, and just a beautiful, perfect handstand to set up this double layout. Another floaty one, hangs on just long enough to show off that stick, and then steps into the loop to salute. So judges are sitting right to the side of the bar. They've got the bird's eye view, just like we've got with this camera, perfectly vertical. And look at the straight line from hands to shoulders, all the way through the spine, hips, and then the double layout. That's a beauty.
And we'll go back to vault because we don't want to miss this. Haley Bryant, one of the finest vaulters in the world. She scored a 10 on this vault.
Talked about shoot the moon. There it is.
Oh,
Boom.
my.
That is as special as it gets.
A work of art. Power, grace, technique, finesse. She has it all.
Oh, absolutely. She just launches the ball from the front of the table and still goes sky high and plenty far from that table and just flares open that half twist, spots the landing. She has forever to look at the mat before she lands.
Well, the Mardi Gras crowd wants to see a perfect 10. Now keep in mind there's two judges. We see two different scores. Looks like it'll be a 9.975 for her as we go to Peyton Richards in the all-around tonight for Florida on the bars.
And Peyton Richards has stepped up so big for Florida. Going to see her in the all-around. Look at the fight on that landing. Landed with her feet a little bit staggered, so they'll take a slight deduction there, but nice job.
Before her, Leanne Wong had a 9.95. So 5 hit routines after the mistake on bars for Florida, so they'll have a decent team score there. Now with her tattoos and black compression socks, LSU sophomore KJ Johnson is impossible to miss. When we come back, Sam sits down with KJ and discusses some of her unique interests.
Mac, it's already a close one after rotation number 1. LSU is just in a slight lead in front of Florida, but we knew it's going to be close from the beginning all the way to the end. But part of LSU's vault team is sophomore KJ Johnson. She's been a mainstay in multiple lineups. She's competed in 3 events so far this year and has continued to improve each week. In addition to her gymnastics, it's her personality and her hobbies that are turning heads this year. I asked her teammates to describe her personality, and they said she looks like she could kill you, but she's actually a cinnamon roll. So many people are curious about who the real KJ Johnson is. I had a chance earlier this week to sit down with her and find out.
You are a dynamic athlete, a very powerful gymnast. Do you think that mimics your personality?
No, not really. I would say it mimics some of my interests and some of the things that I like to do outside of the gym.
Jay Clark told us that you have an interesting way of relieving stress.
Sometimes I can go on a drive and just clear my head, play some music. The other way that I prefer is to go kill it at the gym and go, get a heavy workout in and just lift. It's an escape from the gymnastics side.
What kind of car do you have?
I have a 2016 Chevy Camaro SS. It's red, it's got some black stripes down the middle, and I've put a little sticker above the windshield that says Tiger Blood, which is the name I came up with.
How do you find enough confidence to pursue these unique interests?
I just kind of stick to what my mom always tells me, to just be myself, and people that accept me for who I am are going to be the better people to keep in my life and stuff like that. And so this team does accept me for who I am. They say I'm a different species, but they support me in all of my interests and stuff like that. So they know I don't like going to all their little parties where we all wear pink. So I'll show up in my own color, which is probably black most of the time.
Well, it's clear that KJ Johnson is comfortable in her own skin, which makes her the ultimate cool girl and truly an inspiration to so many. KJ said if she had advice to younger girls, it would be to be your own unique person. Be comfortable being yourself no matter what. That's obviously the motto that has worked well for her. So we're looking forward to see her in just a little bit. But for right now, when we come back, LSU will be on bars and Florida will be on vault.
EMAC. And as expected, this one is going to be close all the way till the finish. Two teams separated by 0.05. LSU with the lead. Florida, normally the #1 team in the country, had to count a 9-7-5 on bars in that first rotation. So they've put themselves in a little bit of a hole here against LSU. Now Florida will move to the vault. They are currently #5 in the country on this event, and LSU, with the lead, will go to the bars, where they are #9 in the country.
It looks like they may be changing their lineup, yes. They had a really rough warm-up here right before vault. I don't know if there was a miscommunication in the way they set the board for those first warm-up vaults, but we saw a couple crashes. And
yeah, this was kind of scary, Kathy, a few minutes ago.
It was. Something was completely off on her setting. Fortunately, she bailed out of the vault. She's fine. But then when she did another vault, she did a nice 1.5 and landed kind of weird. I don't know if it hurt her foot. So now Chloe Clark will take this leadoff spot.
That was Peyton Richards, and Sloan Blakely also had an odd vault warm-up as well. So let's see what Chloe Clark can do now.
She can do a big full if she could stick the landing. It's a nice one. Didn't quite get the landing, but it was really textbook in the air. Nice technique, good amplitude, good form.
Her 4th time in the lineup this season, but we didn't expect that we'd see her tonight.
So they are allowed to change their lineup as long as it is given to the head judge of that event so that they have it before they go.
Alexis Jeffrey, the transfer from UCLA, in all 7 meets so far this season with a season-high 9.925 on bars.
She has gotten so settled in this leadoff spot. Oh, just the leg separation on the Pax Salto. Everything else is so clean, so precise. Really nice straight legs, pointed toes. And a big, huge full twisting double back. That just floats from the sky. Love it. Everything is finished above the level of the high bar. And that is 2 flips and 2 twists all above
That's impressive.
the high bar. That is impressive. You are right.
I went to practice yesterday, and 5 of the 6 bar athletes for this LSU team stuck their dismounts in the show routine yesterday. Head coach Jay Clark said this was typical, and it's really the area that he's hoping to see improvement here in this competition tonight.
Back to vault now. Chloe Clark led them off with a 9.85. This brings up Leanne Wong.
Very similar to Aaliyah Finnegan's vault, except she'll add a half twist. After the front pike, big hop on the landing. Boy, Florida is just giving away 1/10 of a point. And this is an event that just has not quite gelled in terms of getting the landing. They're ranked 5th in the nation.
There's a great women's basketball game Monday night on ESPN2 and the app. Number 16, UCLA takes on Cameron Brink, and number 3, Stanford, in a huge Pac-12 matchup. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern. Back to bars now. Elena Arenas coming after Alexis Jeffrey. A very impressive 9.9 in the leadoff spot for LSU, who has the lead.
Elena has improved in every single way. Her consistency in training and in competition. Nice height on that same bar release. Pax Salto, just a little bit rough down to the low bar, kind of leg separation and not quite in position, but very, very minor. Tiny bit short on that last cast. Let's see if she can get the stick, though. Look at that. Like Sam said, they drilled these landings in training, and it's all about preparation. When you can carry it over from training to competition, That is when you are getting on your game. Look at the height, 2.5 feet above the high bar. They are definitely fighting Tigers here in this competition, really pulling out all the stops.
LSU on fire here at home. They have an opportunity to take on the #2 team in the country. Florida has won their last 3 meetings here. Here is Peyton Richards now after Leanne Wong's 9-8.
With a 1.5 twist. All right, good for her. Ooh. Because to come back from the 2 vaults that she did in warm-ups, you really have to settle your nerves, focus on your cues. So nice to see her come up with it. Not quite the technique or amplitude we usually see, but it was a good vault.
Tori Tatum will be next up on bars. Elena Arenas had a 9-9. That's a career high. So 2 9-9s in the first 2 spots for LSU on the bars.
Watch how Tori Tatum connects these 2 difficult skills. The ray right into the pack salto. You get extra points for bonus connection. Putting those 2 skills together, a little bit shy of that handstand. You have to be right on top of the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Cut. Wow. I mean, 3 for 3. Amazing. So as she connected these right from the same bar release, then goes right into the pack salto down to the low bar. Again, you get those connection bonus points right there. And then you get no deduction when you don't move your feet.
She stepped in when Kaya Johnson went down and has really been consistent on bars 5 times in the lineup coming into this meet. Kayla DiCello now, you see her vault average coming after Peyton Richards had a 9.875. So no scores 9-9 or better for Florida yet on the vault, Kathy.
This back half of the lineup has to step up big time here. Big 1.5, but also a big hop. And those are the kind of things that the judges see them. It's obvious, so you have to take those deductions.
The third 9-9 in a row for LSU on bars. That one for Tori Tatum, a career high. Aaliyah Finnegan now set to go.
And I cannot wait till you see the skill in this bar routine. It is so fun to watch. It's at the front part of the routine after the toe handstand. Oh, big pike Delchev, there it is. There's the toe handstand and to the bail. Oh, just a little bit of arch in her back on that handstand on low bar. A lot of swing generated into the Arabian double front. Had to take a step on that landing. That's the first step that we've seen from LSU on bars. But the highlight of this routine is very difficult pike Delchev. She's the only one that does it in NCAA gymnastics. It's very, very difficult. It's an E element on the uneven bars.
Trinity Thomas will be next up for Florida, another 9.875, so no one has broken the 9-9 barrier yet for this remarkable team.
And this is an athlete who can just put everything together, use her speed, power, and air awareness to just dial in a superb ball. Didn't get the stick here.
She's had no score below 9-9 on vault all season long, and she scored a 10.
She was a little bit twisted on the table. Arms were a little bit staggered on that, so I've noticed that a little bit this season. So it's really hard to set up the big block you want to get in the shape in the air for a stick.
LSU doing a superb job over here on the bars, and this last 2 performers are spectacular. Alona Shenikova now.
She connects as well, out of the ray, into the pack salto. Nice job on that handstand pirouette on low bar. Ooh, little, I think they're gonna have to take the deduction for that short handstand there at the end. Double layup, holds onto it on her tippy toes.
What a contrast. LSU is doing a better job with those landings. Shenikova in the all-around in 4 consecutive meets coming into this one. Trinity Thomas, 9.925 for that vault for Florida, so they finally break that 9.9 barrier.
Bree Edridge stepped into this position, jumped into that warm-up when they had the issues. It was going to be Sloane Blakely in the vault. Bree does a big, beautiful full here. If she can control the landing, they can finish with a good score. Look at the nice block off, but her chest was a little bit forward on that landing. So a slight deduction for the low chest landing and the hop. Again, the judges sit right on the side so they can see the rise off the table. You want to see them finish the skill, the layout and the twist above the height of the table.
Edwards, 5 vaults in this year's lineup for Florida, but she did not compete last week. Her season high, a 9.85. Haley Bryant now will wrap it up for LSU. The last 2 scores were Finnegan and Shenikova, 9.85.
I was so impressed with Haley in training yesterday. This athlete is so dialed in. Look at how precise, how straight her arms are in the handstands, and even on that release move when she regrasped, how straight her arms were. Oh, and shows off a nice handstand at the end. Check this out, double front with a half twist.
Oh yeah,
and
wow.
A glorious stuck landing. Good
what a bar rotation
Their
for
best.
the home team. That's got to be one of their best of the year. All 6, very well done.
As I said, she is just so dialed into every single skill, every element of all of her routines.
Sam Pesek is with Florida's head coach Jenny Rowland now.
Thanks, Bart. Jenny, you guys had a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes in the first 2 rotations. What do you attribute this to?
A little adrenaline, a little too much adrenaline going on, just trying to settle down, changing lineups. We've had some last-minute adjustments here and there. Overall, it's a fight. It's one step at a time, one routine at a time. So I have a lot of faith in these skaters that they're going to keep going.
I saw you pull the team together just now. What's the message to the team heading into the final 2 rotations?
Really, just stay present, stay in the moment, and focus on the Gators. That's all that's in our controllables, and they know what they've got to do.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you so much.
Fisk University is in the midst of their inaugural season as the first HBCU gymnastics program. When we come back to Baton Rouge, we'll go deeper inside their historic season.
It's been 2 rotations, and LSU has continued to have a lead over Florida here. Check it out. We had some uncharacteristic mistakes from Florida, but as Jenny Rowland said, they're looking to come back strong on these next 2 events. And we are here as we continue to celebrate Black History always. We wanted to share the story of Fisk University, and it's led by SEC legend Corinne Wright Carver, and it's their very first year competing less than 1 year after the program has launched. They have had support for so many programs across the country, especially from Florida Gators. They've donated Leos that they're going to be wearing in this upcoming meet in Florida. So there's been an outpouring of excitement for this new school. Here's a preview of a story from SEC Network in partnership with Anscape that goes inside the Fisk Gymnastics program.
Coach T is like a big deal in gymnastics. She was the first Black gymnast to win the NCAA all-around. For her to come home with her own team, it was kind of like a full circle moment.
They're a first-year team, not just first HBCU, first for Fisk, first NAIA, first in Tennessee. There's so many firsts, but I think the girls who are on her team, they know that since she did it, she can help them do it also.
Yo, we just did it. We about to be on the floor. Let's get it done. My dream ever since I was growing up in the sport of gymnastics was to go to an HBCU and be a gymnast. It's super fun to be a part of the team where all the girls are girls of color and we just share so much and we bond together.
Seeing them come together as a team, seeing us grow as a family, to see the smiles on their faces and for them to have those kind of moments. We go to meets and there's a whole team of young Black girls who are like, I want to do college gymnastics now.
I know we are inspiring them, but they're also an inspiration to me too. This is something that little girls want to do, so who am I to let them down?
Overwhelmed right now. But, oh my God. I'm so happy that they could be on the same floor I did.
For me, it's significant. It's always significant. It's one more step forward.
To see the full video, go to SEC Network on Facebook. To read the article by Anscape senior HBCU reporter Mia Berry, visit anscape.com/HBCU. When we come back, Florida will be on floor and LSU will be on beam.
All right, we're back in Baton Rouge. Bar Connor, Kathy Johnson-Clark, and Sam Pescick calling the action. We have a great one here. LSU has the lead as they go to beam. Elena Arenas will lead them off as she gets a few minor notes, and from Ashley Natt, the 17-time All-American and former legend here in her third year as the assistant coach for LSU.
And they have put the pressure on Florida. This is a fantastic opportunity for them. This has been their hardest event. They haven't quite got their nerves in check to the point where they can compete big. And that's what they need to do here. Really good amplitude on those first leaps. Sets up her acro series right here. A little bit knees on that back handspring, but oh, so solid. Really nice confidence I'm seeing.
LSU currently 14th in the country on this event in terms of their national rankings based on average scores. But they're coming off a 49.5 on bars in that last rotation, which was their season high. Big part of the reason why LSU has the lead right now.
You can see Elena just breathing confidence into this routine. This is as solid as I've seen her really attack that switch half. Nice to see her hit that position in the air. And the first of their dismounts on balance beam. Let's see if she can get the stick. Round up 1.5 twist. Oh, just a little stutter step there. Didn't quite trust it to really settle into that floor for the stick, but nice opening routine for LSU.
We're at the halfway point in today's competition. As you see, after the second rotation, LSU extends their lead by 0.2 of a point after the season high there on vault and bars. For that rotation, by the way, every score for LSU except one that counted was a 9-9 or better. For Florida, they only counted one score that was 9-9 or better in vault that last rotation. Victoria Wynn will lead them off on the floor here.
And Victoria can set the stage for Florida with this dramatic and beautiful floor routine. Elegant. Opens with a difficult E-pass. This is a front double twist right into a sisson. Beautiful leap positions, nice extension, full split. Difficult wide turn. Back 1.5 to front layout. Nice amplitude, just a large step out of it. One of the few routines that I can sway to the entire routine. I just love the choreography, the music. It's such a big show of a routine. So I mentioned this is an E element. All of the skills are rated from A all the way up to E. And the judges are looking for perfectly straight legs, feet together, really hard to keep them from crossing in those twisting elements.
We'll go back now to beam for LSU. I love this mount. This is Alona Shenikoma coming after the Arenas' 9.825 in the leadoff spot.
Last weekend was the first time the coaches felt like they put a complete beam meet up. I asked assistant coach Ashley Natt what she thought it was. Competing away at the Auburn Arena on the last event is not easy to do. And she said, I don't know, they were swag surfing and having a good time. So we really are trying this meet to put a bigger emphasis on having fun and just relaxing. So that's the message here to this team.
Well, so far, Sam, they are following through with that. They look so much more relaxed here on balance beam. Got just a little bit tight. That's a nerve thing there, but she fought through it. Need to bring that chest up just a little bit sooner on the side aerial. But again, moving confidently as she goes. Sets up the dismount sequence right here. Back handspring, swing through to a gainer full and gets the landing. Really well done.
Last two meets in a row, Shenikova 9.85s on beam. Coming off one of her best all-around performances of her career.
I love the straight leg, excuse me, Bart, on these back handsprings. Shows off the flexibility as well. Kept them really in line. And then nice form and great landing.
LSU is getting what Jay Clark had hoped to see. They're not timid on beam, they're attacking. Rachel Bauman now on floor. 9.925 was the score for Victoria Wynn in that leadoff spot for Florida.
I admire the precision in this routine. Her footwork is superb. Very difficult double wolf turn. Hard to make it beautiful, and she does. Opens with her combination pass. Back 1.5 to a front full. Difficult in that she twists both elements. Now watch the footwork. How precise has she? Steps across the floor. Up on high toe. Beautiful. Full extension, and her legs are exactly even, parallel with the floor on those straddles. Finishes with a pike double back. Beautiful form, hopped back and slid that front foot, so they'll take a deduction there. That is some of the cleanest dance work you will ever see on floor.
Well, some of the gymnasts said that this floor is extremely bouncy. Some say that it actually feels like a rod floor, so we're actually seeing that in the first two routines. Their last passes are over-rotated just slightly. You're calling that out correctly, Kathy, and that's because they are trying to absorb the floor because it's a little bit bouncier than they're used to.
It's great for the takeoff, though, Sam. You just have to get ready for that landing.
It's interesting, all the equipment is standardized, but you know, depending on what it's on top of, whether it's a concrete floor or a basketball floor or a podium, it actually does change the spring and the dynamic of the apparatus. Kai Rivers now, the senior from Detroit. Last week had her season high 9.9 here.
handspring, layout, step out. So solid. One of the other characteristics that you really need for a beam is you have got to be tough and firm in your thought process. A little bit shy of that 180. Got to show that full split in the air. There's the full split. And again in the straddle. Love that part of the routine. And look at all her teammates. They are doing the routine with her. Comes up with the stick on the double twist. Well done. They are building momentum here on balance beam.
Senikova before her a 9.85, and Arenas led them off with a 9.825. But look how close this meet is, folks. These two seams separated by 25 thousandths of a point, Kathy.
One of the harder dismounts to stick. She finishes that double twist in time to spot the floor and really hit that shape for the perfect landing.
We'll head back to the floor now for Florida. Peyton Richards set to go. Second 9.925 in a row for Florida. That one from Rachel Bauman. Here is Richards.
Watch the shape in the air on this double layout. Should be a very tight arch, stretched position throughout, and locked knees. Just a little bit cockeyed on that first leap. Both legs must be of even height.
We weren't sure if we'd see Peyton Richards in the all-around tonight, but Sloane Blakely, who has been dealing with some illness, not at full strength, and so Richards has stepped up.
Combination, oh no! Ooh. Totally mistimed the punch in between those two skills, broke form. Hopefully not hurt on the foot. I'm not sure. I think okay. She's okay. I was afraid that she might have hurt her foot on the landing or on that punch in between the two skills. And when I say mistimed, this is a blind punch. So out of the 1.5, notice how her knees kind of buckled instead of bouncing and punching the floor. She bent the knees, and that kills your bounce.
Oh. Interesting when you have a difficult time adjusting to the equipment. As you all mentioned, this floor is very springy, and especially on those bounding skills, those combination passes are tricky to do if you don't get the timing just right. KJ Johnson now coming after Kai Rivers scored a season-high 9.9.
And the mount, as unique as she is in all of her interest, that press to handstand into a reverse plunge, love it. Switch leap into standing back touch, straddle quarter. They changed that part of the routine, and that's a great change. It's exciting to see something a little bit different. Handspring layout, step out. She has fought for this spot in the lineup and is showing such calm, confident consistency.
She was in the lineup in the first 3 meets, season high 9.75, but worked her way back into this top 6.
Dismount back handspring, 1.5 twist, just a hop on the landing. Really strong routine. So she connects all 3 of these, a dance skill, the switch leap, into an acrobatic skill, back tuck, a little extra arm circle. They may not give her the connection into the straddle quarter.
We have another full afternoon of college basketball tomorrow on ESPN, highlighted by these 2 games. Number 5, Kansas hosts number 9, Baylor in a sonic blockbuster at 4 Eastern. Then at 6, Duke we'll head to Syracuse. Should be another great day of hoops tomorrow. Looks like there's a conference on the floor. In dual meet competition, there are 2 judges, and Kathy, perhaps you can explain what they would be discussing at this point.
So it's probably a start value issue because she mistimed the punch between those 2 skills. She didn't do the element that she was supposed to do. So she did an easier skill on that second one. And so whether she has enough bonus difficulty, either in connection or the bonus skill, that's what they're determining. What did she get credit for?
So there are 2 judges. Their scores are average. The 3rd judge out there is the meet referee, and they have
to agree on this.
arbitrate.
So start value you have to agree on. So they're going through the whole routine. They take notes through an entire routine. They do shorthand. They have little symbols. So they can go back and tell you exactly what skills she performed and whether she got credit.
The coaches are allowed to inquire on a score, but not about, oh, there's the legend Dee Bro on the right of your screen there. And Coach Mulkey, basketball coach here. And boy,
2 legends.
2 legends side by side here in the legendary PMAC. Of course, so many great sports moments have taken place here, and boy, it turns out gymnastics these days is one of the hottest tickets. As I mentioned at the top of the show, in 3 home meets, over 36,000 fans have been inside the PMAC. They're averaging over 12,000 per regular season dual meet, Kathy. Something to see, isn't it?
Absolutely. Bart, you and I have done this for many, many years, and it's so exciting to see packed arenas and seeing these athletes get the attention and the support that they deserve.
Absolutely.
And they put on a great show.
And all of these meets come down to the wire, and we should have a good one tonight between 2 top 10 teams. Florida, coming into this meet, would be considered quite a favorite. But LSU, as we've seen other times this year, when their backs are against the wall, they come out fighting.
Fighting Tigers. And this is the first time we've actually seen Florida look vulnerable. So, and to be clear, their warm-ups before their first event on bars was superb. They looked as good as they've ever looked, and yet, in competition, it came apart.
Leanne Wong now, they agreed on the score for Peyton Richards. It's a 9.675. So
that's
after
the
2
drop score.
9.925s, they'll need 3 more hit routines, and boy, these 3 coming up can do it.
And opens with a double Arabian here. Very difficult. Half twist into that double front and a dance skill out. One of the most elegant dancers in gymnastics. Nice elevation and extension on those leaps and jumps. Leanne performs a high level of difficulty throughout the routine. Oh, she covered that well, but that was slightly off on the landing. And a very elegant gator chomp. I bet you have never seen one as elegant as that.
Season high twice. She's had 9.975 for the young lady who is the 2021 World All-Around Silver Medalist.
Now watch how she finesses this landing. She's slightly under-rotated. She's got very strong legs, though. Held on to it and danced out of it. They'll take a little deduction there, though. But look at the amplitude, the extension, full split.
Haley Bryant now for LSU on the beam. KJ Johnson before her, a career-high 9.875.
And you know you're watching a good beam performer and one who is well prepared when you can relax watching them. It's exactly the way I feel watching Haley. She is so prepared, so dialed in, as I said earlier in the show. that she can perform the skills in competition exactly the way she does in practice. Not holding back. And I also love that she has worked so hard on the details. And darn, very difficult standing front. She lifted the leg with a balance correction, so that's a more sizable deduction.
7 meets this year. She's been in the all-around, averaging over 9.9.
And unlike some of the other top teams, she has not been able to rest in competition because they need her. And she's a beast, in all honesty. I mean, she's a beautiful beast, but she's a workhorse in the gym. Prepares so completely, and look at that, showing off that full 180-degree split, kept those toes pointed, and the punch front 1.5. She loves to flip forward. That is for her superpower.
Pretty remarkable. Only one score out of 28 competition routines this season that's below a 9.8, and it was a 9.775. She has been remarkable for LSU. Here we go now. Trinity Thomas coming after Leanne Wong's 9.825.
Watch how intricate the choreography is. How she hits the beats just perfectly. And then sails on this double layout. It is the best you will see. Oh, and that landing.
Breathtaking.
Perfect. Look for the precision on these leaps and jumps. Judges look where they take off, where they land. This routine has little pieces from each of her previous floor routines. So this is a melding of all that is special about Trinity Thomas, and there's a lot that's special. Nice. Oh, scooted back just a little bit on that final landing. Oh. Love the way it fits to the music. It is just perfectly choreographed. Jeremy Miranda, Florida's choreographer, did such a superb job with this routine. It was a high-flying, very special routine. Good amplitude on all the leaps and jumps. And just a teensy bit off right here. Notice how she lands short of rotation and has to scoop those legs back. Covers it beautifully, but they will take a slight deduction.
And now the final competitor for LSU on beam, Aaliyah Finnegan, after Haley Bryant's 9.925. This has been a superb rotation for LSU.
Well, the coaches say that Aaliyah is actually casual about almost everything, which is extremely strange and very different for a gymnast. Usually they're perfectionists, but they're saying that it actually helps her because she doesn't let little things bother her. She brushes them off and moves on to the next thing. For example, before she salutes on beam, she actually asks Ashley Nat, the assistant coach, how her day is going and says, I think I'm ready for this. And Ashley will respond, I think you are ready for this too.
Well,
Kathy?
I can't wait till Bugs ask her. So how did that feel up there? How's your beam going? I'd say it is going fantastic.
Wow.
So confident in this routine, and she's performing a high level of difficulty. That first acrobatic series, double layout, I had to do my best, Sam, to not gasp in the middle of your sentence. Finishes it off with a gainer full. That was magical. Fantastic routine. That's as good as it gets.
Dee Dee Bro likes it. Over 12,000 in here. Holding up both hands. They want to see 10s.
Look at the perfection on that triple series. And she kept her cool from start to finish, nailed everything.
What a rotation for LSU on the beam. If Finnegan gets a 9-9 or better, it would be a season high for LSU on beam, coming off a season high on bars. They are pouring it on against the number 2 team in the country, Florida. Oh!
There it is.
They got what they wanted. A perfect 10. She scored a 10 on the vault. She scored a 10 on the floor, and now a perfect 10 on the beam this season for Aaliyah Finnegan. Wow.
Earlier today, I had a chance to speak with her sister, Sarah Finnegan, who was a standout LSU gymnast, AI award winner, and national champion. And she said she had the luxury of watching her sister score a perfect 10 last weekend, and she almost cried. I'm watching her and the Finnegan clan. They're jumping up and down. They're shouting 10. It's an emotional moment for the whole family.
Oh, so great, Sam. I talked to Sarah as well, and I said, so do you get nervous watching your sister? And she goes, oh my God, so much more watching than it is competing.
What a thrill for LSU on the beam in the third rotation. Season high 49.55 for the Tigers. Kayla DiCello now coming after Trinity Thomas, scored 9.95 for Florida. Remember, one score that Florida wants to drop is the 9.675 from Peyton Richards. Hopefully DiCello can score more than that for their team total.
She combines power and grace, opens with a front double twist. Lovely shapes in the air on those leaps and jumps. Double wolf turn. Back 1.5 to front lay, textbook. And hats off to Kayla DiCello, because I'll tell you what, she had struck her beginning pose when the madness hit. And the 10 went up, and this whole place went crazy. So she actually got up, walked off the mat, and reset, and came back really strong on this routine. So good for her. Nice form, good elevation on both those skills.
Well, LSU will lead going into the fourth and final rotation. Their head coach, Jay Clark, is with our Sam now.
Thanks, Bart. Jay, you guys have been looking to put a complete meet together, and this is feeling pretty complete with Aaliyah Finnegan's perfect 10 on beam. What else are you seeing from your team tonight?
I just love this group. I mean, they've been through so much early in this year, and they're fighters. We keep getting a little bit better every week. We got to go over here and finish it, but I'm so proud of what they're doing in here tonight, and they continue to grow and continue to learn how to stay aggressive and get rid of timidity and things like that. I'm just really proud of what they're doing so far, but it's only 3 events so far, and we know that the Gators are awesome. So,
what's the message to the team heading to this 4th event to keep this momentum going?
Finish the job. You know, it's not about anything except measuring ourselves against us and going over there and putting a good floor rotation together and being able to finish it.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, over 12,000 fans here, hoping to see a perfect 10, and they got one in that last rotation from LSU. We're going to be down to the 4th and final rotation, and we have a great one here tonight on ESPN2. As expected, we have a great one here tonight with Florida trailing LSU at home by just under 0.2 of a point. Let's take a look at the top 10 teams in the country based on their season averages to this point. As you see, Oklahoma, the only team averaging over 198, has the lead. Florida in number 2 position right now. But that's all going to change starting next week a little bit, because we start calibrating and calculating the season rankings based on what we call the NQS. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. Perhaps you can explain the calculation that goes into the NQS and what that might affect tonight's competition.
So it's a ranking system that sounds complicated, but it's really quite simple and straightforward. You take the top 6 scores, 3 of which must be from away meets. Then you drop the highest score, whether it's home or away, and average the remaining 5. This gives them the score that earns their ranked position and then seeding going into postseason.
All right, let's see how that affects the teams here tonight. So Florida, they only have 2 away meets, so they need that score number 5 tonight, an away score here, to factor into their NQS. They have 1 home and 3 away meets remaining. Remember, they'll drop the high score, whether it's home or away, and average the remaining 5. Now, how does that affect LSU? LSU has already had 6 meets, Kathy.
So LSU, look at that score 4, that 197.15. That's a home meet. So is this one. They want to score higher than that, and it sure looks like they're on their way, because then that score will count in there. And depending on how high it is, it may be dropped if it's higher than that 197.5, but they're looking pretty good.
Great opportunity for the home team, LSU, tonight. They have Florida with their backs against the wall, and Florida will be on the beam in the final rotation, and LSU will try to shine and close this out on the floor. Mardi Gras season, and they're rocking the PMAC here tonight. Here is the meet summary coming into the 4th and final rotation. Aaliyah Finnegan with her 3rd straight week getting a perfect 10, this time on beam, allows LSU to hang on to the lead by .175. LSU will be on floor in this final rotation, and the number 2 Florida Gators will be on the beam. We expected this would be down to the wire, Kathy, and here we are under enormous pressure.
And great opportunities for both teams. LSU in their home arena doing floor, and beam. This is the number 2 beam team in the nation, and for a reason. They have been consistent, calm, even in these pressure situations. But this is perhaps the most pressure they have felt all season long. Peyton Richards, very solid so far.
Florida undefeated, 8-0, 5-0 in the SEC.
She got cautious there, did not complete that half turn in the air, so just held back just a little bit, but saved it. This leadoff routine, so important, really sets the pace. Lost her toe point just a little on that straddle jump. Dismount as a back handspring to a 1.5 twist. See if she can get the stick. They need it. Holds on, up on her tippy toes.
Two great rivalry matchup highlight our college basketball coverage on Sunday afternoon. First at 1 Eastern, it's North Carolina visiting Terquavion Smith and number 23 NC State. Then at 3, Marcus Sasser and number 2 Houston are hosting Memphis. It's all on ESPN and the app. There's a great women's basketball game Monday night on ESPN2 and the app. Number 16 UCLA takes on Cameron Brink, and number 3 Stanford in a huge Pac-12 matchup. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern. Sierra Ballard now will lead off LSU on the floor in this 4th and final rotation.
And she can perform lights out throughout this routine. She just loves. Nice double layout. That is probably the straightest body double layout I've seen her perform. Cleanest form.
She's been in the floor lineup in all 7 meets this season. Season high score, 9-9.
Back 1.5 front layout. swing to switch half down to that one knee. Really like that combination. Watch how she lands this pike double back. If she can keep that front foot down as she steps into the lunge for no deduction. Well done, held on to it. Great start for LSU. Now this is an event, they're ranked 11th in the country. To give you some perspective, Florida's ranked 4th on that event, on floor exercise, so they need to be at their best to keep their lead.
Kathy, as you know, judges have been hammering down on those ending poses. They've been deducting the gymnasts for not holding the poses long enough. So this week in practice, LSU has been chanting TIGERS, go Tigers, at the end of the floor routines to remind each other just how long they need to hold it before saluting. I said it in my head, and Sierra nailed it.
I like that technique.
Ellie Lazzari is so beautiful on this event, a real natural beam worker. Opens with this triple series. 2 layout step out, so confident, so calm, so secure. And the details. This is where Florida really shines. Great extension on their leaps. Very clean footwork, nice toe point.
Peyton Richards led Florida off on beam with a 9.75. Remember, they're the #2 team in the country on this event. And they're trailing LSU in the 4th and final rotation. So they need big scores, 9-9 and up.
So far, very well executed beam routine. Nice beam posture. Just a hop on the landing. Very few deductions in the body of the routine, just that hop.
It's interesting, Florida has struggled a bit with the landings here. It started on vault, they didn't really have any clean landings there, and a few bobbles on those combination passes on floor. They're gonna need to be sticking some landings because LSU, when they get your back against the wall in the PMAC, they do not let up. We saw this about a month ago when LSU welcomed Oklahoma in here and gave them a run for their money, finished within 15/100ths of a point of the top team in the country.
Well, Bart, when they warmed up, they put a vault board out there to really practice the landings. Very nice arabesque position out of that first tumbling run. So twist both elements here, back 1.5 to front layout. Now if she can execute these leaps with no fault, show full extension. Not quite on that second leap, could have been a little bit higher and more split. This pass is a front 1.5 twist to a leap, a jump. A very strong routine, some little deductions in there. As I mentioned, when they warmed up, they put a vault board out on the floor and did standing backs, standing fronts, really focusing on these landings. She danced right out of that double twisting front, and right here, she travels back just a little bit too far to be considered perfect.
Last 2 meets in a row, 9-9, 2-5s on floor. And of course, last week against Auburn, one of her best all-around performances of her career. Victoria Wynn now, coming after Ellie Lazzari, had the 9-9 that they need over there.
Some really innovative choreography to begin this routine. And this is so original too. And a nodi, half twist to the front walkover, right into the back handspring. One of the more unique acrobatic series we'll see. And a difficult 2 turns in a row. Lifts that leg up high. Oh, bobbles the connection and has a balance break. So she didn't do the second full turn. Sets up her back handspring, 1.5 twist. Oh, gets the stick. They needed that, absolutely.
She's in the beam lineup 3 meets this season. Last week had her season high 9.875. Remember, they have a 9.75, which they're going to need to replace with 5 solid scores if they're going to climb back in this, because LSU is not letting up. Alona Shenikoma, a 9.925, and Elena Arenas now, who is in the all-around. She's in place of Chase Brock on floor. Let's go down to Sam.
This is actually her first time doing all-around. She's that athlete that's unemotional, and she's just rational, and they're stress-free. So in these situations where there is a lot of pressure, she's going in, and again, it's her first time in the all-around.
Opens with a front double full. She controlled it pretty well. Kind of a large step, but nice job moving out of it. She did another front tumbling pass. This time a front layout to a front full for her combination pass, one of the requirements. And she had a nifty little way in the middle of the routine for fulfilling the requirement to tumble backwards. She did a cartwheel layout, skill you might see on beam, but that fulfilled that part. So nice to see her step into this lineup, into the all-around. As I said, that was a little bit large step. She did her best to cover it. And then another front tumbling pass, front layout to front full. Oh, she's got to be pleased.
You know, that's really been the story for LSU this year. After Kaya Johnson tore her Achilles in the second meet, the way this team has stepped up and dug deep. I mean, her first time in the all-around tonight, and they have a chance to beat one of the top teams in the country here at home. As we go back to beam, Victoria Wynn had a 9.85, and this is Kayla DiCello. You see her average there, tied for third in the NCAA on this event.
She can do superb work here as well. Difficult double wolf turn. So like LSU has done all season long, fight like crazy. That's what Florida's doing right here on this final event, an event where they are superb. But when you add that pressure of being pressed, trying to play catch up, this event can be tricky. So far, very confident, very secure.
4 of 6 meets she's done the all-around for Florida coming into this. Last week had a 9.975 here.
Dismount combination, back handspring, swing through to the full. Nice job.
I spoke to head coach Jenny Rowland about Kayla DiCello, and she said, we really don't need to fix any of her skills, but we have been talking about showing more confidence to the judges. She said the one time she did it, she looked at the judge, smirked, and then wobbled. So I'm a little nervous she's not going to do it again. And I just watched her throughout that routine. She smirked, she smiled, she looked directly at the judge, and was oozing confidence. So I know Jenny's happy with that one.
And didn't wobble. So good for her.
Very important. All right, this is always a highlight. She's been in all 7 meets this season, a season high on floor for her, 9.95. This is KJ Johnson.
And this music and choreography just suits her to a T.
See the scores for LSU to this point on floor.
Powerful tumbler here, full twisting double back. And I believe she kept her foot right inside that boundary, that white line. Good control on the combination pass. You can see the concentration come over her face for this final pass. Looking for the stick on her double back. Just a tiny slide. Wow, just power, strength, and a performance quality so fun to watch.
Remarkable, and remember, she wears those compression sleeves on her shins because she has metal rods in both shins.
Yep, see what I mean?
Save.
She kept it in, did not put that heel down. Really well done. Now watch her fight. That front foot slid just a little bit, so the judges look very closely to see control, and that foot has to stay down for no deduction.
We talked about Florida fighting back. Here's Trinity Thomas coming after Kayla DiCello's 9.975, which means one of the two judges gave her a perfect 10.
We've seen Trinity achieve perfection on this event, and that's actually the best leap, mount, and into the second leap I've seen her do all season. Her acrobatic series is unique in that the first skill is a back handspring, but with one arm into the layout step out, so solid. Very few gymnasts move as confidently as Trinity. I love this combination. The beat jump into the back handspring swing down. This is actually the best beam routine I've seen her do so far. Side aerial to a 1.5 twist.
Oh!
And there's your stuck landing. There it is, no movement. That was gorgeous.
Last week she got a perfect 10, and there was a little slide of that foot. She was not thrilled that the judges gave her that 10, but this one, I didn't see anything really obvious to do. She earned it here if she gets it.
Holds on to it, keeps those heels down.
She scored 2 perfect 10s on beam so far this year, a total of 24 perfect 10s in her career. Jenny Rowland very happy with that under pressure. Aaliyah Finnegan now coming after KJ Johnson, had her career high 9.95.
And I dare you not to smile from start to finish watching this routine. There is no one who loves to perform as much as Aaliyah Finnegan. She steps
and the score is
character.
in. Oh, it's a 10 also for Trinity Thomas at the same time, Kathy.
Wow. Gorgeous Arabian double, perfectly executed.
Last week, Finnegan herself had a perfect 10 here on floor.
Ooh, 2.5 twist to punch front. Switch ring to switch full. So she does difficulty in her tumbling and in her leaps. This is exactly the way she performs it in training too. She steps into character and stays there. Oh no, oh, too bad. So that wasn't her planned final pass.
Right. Oh,
She mistimed the punch into the second element. I mean, it still looked beautiful, even though it was a mess up. But no mess up here. This was superb. Very difficult. Arabian double into a picture-perfect stag jump. And there, right there, just punched a little too soon, got ahead of herself and couldn't maintain the layout position in that final pass. She knew it.
Several gymnasts struggling a bit to adjust on those combination tumbling passes on this very springy floor here in the PMAC at LSU.
And that was a matter. She knew she had such a great routine going. I think she was just a split second ahead of herself and punched the floor too soon.
Here's the 10 watch. Trinity Thomas with the 10 in that last routine gets her 25th. Remember, the record is 28. That's her 6th career 10 on beam. And Leanne Wong now will anchor it for Florida.
Leanne Wong was actually in the 5th spot. Trinity used to be in the 6th spot, but head coach Jenny Rowland recently swapped them, and I asked Trinity, why do you like being in that 5th spot? She goes, oh, I like to set my teammates up. I go, what happens when you get a 10 first? She goes, oh, don't worry, Leanne's gonna follow me with a perfect 10 next, watch.
This is like having 2 queens on your chessboard. These are 2 beam queens. They can go before each other or after, and this is just stunning beam work. The basic training she shows off in this routine is just a pleasure to watch. A double twist. Oh, held onto the stick. The chest was a little bit down, so that should be a slight deduction. The rest of the routine was just gorgeous.
Well, the score came in for Aaliyah Finnegan on floor. That was a 9-9 for LSU. So if Leanne Wong gets a 9-9-2-5.
And now, Tiger fans, the anchor of your Tigers floor team, this
If she does not get a 9-9-2-5 or better, LSU will win this regardless of what superstar Haley Bryant does right now. Look at the scores for LSU on floor.
Oh, let's have fun with this routine. It is so good. Double front. Her superpower is front tumbling. Every pass is a front tumbling pass. You have to go backwards at some point. That's one of the special requirements, and she'll get it done. I'll point it out. Right there. Back layout, step out. That fulfills it. And all the top gymnasts open their routines with those difficult E passes, and Haley's gonna end her routine with an E as well. Difficult front double twist. Let's see if she can get the landing. There it is! As I said, dialed in.
What a gutsy performance.
Fantastic.
LSU does it at home. What a way to kick off Mardi Gras week. The score came in for Leanne Wong. It was a 9-9 for Florida. Considered a heavy favorite coming into this. They've won the last 3 times they came to the PMAC, but not tonight, Kathy.
Not with a high-flying Haley Bryant to anchor this. Tremendous floor effort by LSU. What a meet, what a night for these gymnasts, for these fans, for this program, and for Haley Bryant. Great finish.
Oh, and what a thrill. LSU will score 198 to beat Florida. What a night here in Baton Rouge. We'll come back to wrap this one up, and all the legends were in the house. to see this momentous occasion for the home team. First, it's Kentucky, Florida at 6 Eastern. Then Auburn hosts Georgia, and the night caps off with Missouri taking on Arkansas. What a gymnastics season we have here. The final score, LSU, now that the 9-9-2-5 is in for Haley Bryant, raises their score to a 198-1. It's a season-high team score. Florida has their second best score of the season and a great meet in a losing effort here in Baton Rouge. Sam Pesek is with the all-around champion, Aaliyah Finnegan.
You scored 10s in 3 consecutive meets on 3 consecutive events. What's clicking for you?
I think just this team, we're picking up after each other, one after the other. We take what's good from last week and we keep pushing.
Your team has been through a lot this season, and you have fought every single meet, finally put a complete meet together. We're able to beat Florida. What does it say about your team handling this kind of pressure?
Absolutely. It shows that they shouldn't count us out. We're still up there. We're still fighting. We're still crawling just to be up there because we are a team that's good enough to put up these kind of scores, and I'm really just proud of the fight that we had tonight.
What's the focus going into next week's meet?
It's just to take one step. Our theme is the climb. We've really been pushing on that climb this year, and so it's just taking that step further each time we go out there.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank you.
And with a correction, Trinity's 10 on the beam allowed her to be the all-around champion with a incredible score of 39.85. No score below 9.925. And of course, she gets her 25th perfect 10. She's still marching towards that NCAA record of 28 perfect 10s. There is Jay Clark in his 3rd season, and what, as a head coach here, what an incredible night. They've had a rough season. The second meet, they lost one of their hammers, Kaya Johnson, as he said, and they've had to dig deep. And boy, we've seen it several times, Kathy. It just brings out the best in this team.
Dig deep, fight hard for each other. And they talked about the climb. They literally had to climb out of a hole. That hurt when they lost Kaya Johnson, but oh my gosh, the heart they've shown, they are still in the conversation. And you know what I loved? The love and respect between these two teams. It was so evident. Love it.
The all-around champion, Trinity Thomas, and she's with Sam Pesek now.
Trinity, you scored another 10 tonight. It was beautiful. It was stunning on balance beam. What were you thinking about during that routine?
Honestly, I was thinking just do it for my team. I knew I could do it. I have been working extra hard this week to work on the little details, to fix everything that I can, and so it felt really good to come out here and hit a great routine and to receive a 10.
This meet, your team had ups and downs. How do you evaluate the meet?
Yeah, we fought till the end. That was nowhere near our best, nowhere near. So it's just good to know that we can come in here on the road and we'll go 197, 975, and know we have so much to give.
Thanks, Trinity.
Of course, thank you.
What a thrilling night here in Baton Rouge. Our final score, LSU 198-1, Florida 197-975. That just shows you how great gymnastics is in the NCAA. What a thriller here in front of 12,000 fans at the PMAC. For Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Pesek, I'm Bart Connor. Coming up next is National Lacrosse League action with Saskatchewan taking on San Diego. So long from Baton Rouge.